Alright, this is episode 4, and here we go. Let's get right into it. So, uh, last time, at least in terms of the story of these guys, it was a somewhat, like, it was kind of focused on everybody, but with Tamaki with a little bit of a head. So, Tom, why don't you do our last time on thing this time?
All right. I'll see if I can muster up the. Last time on Power Rangers Cosmic Roar.
You know, it's actually kind of fitting that you're a little sick for this session, considering what actually happened last time.
I mean, yeah, it's not like Trek sneezed on me and I just kind of ended up like this. So last time, Tamaki and the rest of the crew realized that they are Power Rangers and were able to figure out how to morph. And while they were just kind of getting the ropes of things, training, Tamaki just kind of slacked off on that, and Trek decided to take matters into his own hands, so he pretended to betray everyone. And then we tried to fight him to the death, and Tamaki almost heckin' died
Nice
until
catch.
she didn't.
1 HP. That was a miracle. Like,
It's funny because you hit me with something that caused 9 damage, so I had 1 armor in order to do it, and then the damages just kind of piled up to make it so that 1 armor that didn't get depleted at the beginning just kind of caught me at the end.
and people say the undershirt ability isn't good. But yeah, Tamaki leveled up from that experience, and now she has 1 more elemental charge over everybody else. So
She spent the most time honing her elemental ability, so it only makes sense that she's a bit better at that than anyone else.
well, I mean, what else are you gonna do when you're laying in a hospital bed?
She's just sitting in bed, just kind of floating things.
Just like with her air magic, like, yep, this is my life right now. Like,
Yep, still can't move. Yep, ribs are still bruised.
but alright, so now to do our little opening, we actually open with, well, Tom, I'll let you decide if Tamaki's with the group right now or if she's still in the hospital. But it's going to open with at least the majority of the group inside of the Hall of Champions. Okay. And I would like everyone to say what their because this is going to be, I'd say, maybe like 4 or 5 days after the previous session, right? So,
Right.
you know, things have been relatively peaceful around town lately. There haven't been any reports of attacks. There have been reports of attacks on other major cities, but other rangers have been reported to be taking care of it. So the team is probably not that worried, or at least most of them. So I'd like everyone to state what they're doing as of right now. I will say that the character of Rai has been watching Lightspeed Rescue on loop like the entire time. He's just been sitting there just staring. He's just like, yes, Carter. Like, Lightspeed Red is so cool.
Every time the theme song goes on, he just kind of full on belts it.
And the Guardian's like, you know, you could you know, study the history of any Ranger team, and Rai's like, no, Lightspeed Rescue. Like,
Okay.
what about everybody else?
I'm gonna say unless the Guardian said it was something urgent, Tamaki is still just gonna be relaxing at home, helping out her grandma at a restaurant.
All right, fair.
Warren is still after. You said that everybody is still at the Guardian Sanctuary,
Yes.
Hall of Heroes. He's deadlifting currently.
Do you even lift?
Oh yeah,
Just working out.
he is working out. Yes, he has found the heaviest thing that he can lift, and he is lifting it.
The heaviest thing he can lift being Morgana.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Tamaki's not there, so
Just bench pressing Morgana up and down repeatedly.
Morgana just kind of has her arms crossed and pouting.
Oh, this is planking.
Flying. Like,
No, he's doing
Forward.
sit-ups with Morgana sitting on his back.
that also works.
Wait, isn't it push-ups?
Wait, what did I say?
You said sit-ups.
Sorry, I meant push-ups.
I mean, if you could do sit-ups like that, then like good on you.
Like that takes effort, dude. Like good, great, congrats.
That's motivation.
Off of
That's
it.
motivation.
Yeah,
Just
like
hanging off the edge with Morgana.
Every time you return to the resting position, Morgana just
Lifting
clips through the floor.
momentarily enters another dimension. So
Man, Hall of Heroes is strange.
right.
Anyway,
So the Guardian decides to float over to Warren, kind of curious, and he says, "Warren, my child, you've been working quite a lot these past few days. Is something on your mind?"
well, wasn't good enough to stop. What's his name? The Green Ranger. So, have to get stronger.
And the Guardian just kind of continues to inspect the situation and goes, shall I offer some advice?
Well, you're the Guardian, so sure.
Let me ask you a question. Does the river need someone to help push it forward?
He pauses as he looks up at him. What?
Does a river need help to get its push forward? Or does nature simply take its course?
Okay, you're gonna do the thing with the metaphors. Got it. No, it does not.
Again with this water business.
Very well. Keep this in mind as you continue your ordeals. That is all. And he just kind of floats away.
Do you understand his riddles at all?
Nope. And he continues doing push-ups.
And meanwhile, Rai is still like, guys! Like, he suddenly stands up. And he's like, guys! I got it!
What do
Got
you
what?
got?
I think I know what he means. He means we need a cool morphing phrase. Okay. So I've been thinking a lot, okay? And let me tell you what you think, okay? And then...
I'm just gonna stop you there, buddy.
No. Trust me, it'll be cool. And he, like, does this, like, great Saiyaman, like, style pose, right? And he's like, alright, how about... Let's go full bore! Cosmic roar! Yeah.
I walk over to him and just go baka and just chop him on the head.
Think, what the heck? I thought it was cool.
Isn't that what the Sentai Rangers do?
Hey, every Power Ranger worth its salt has a cool morphing phrase. Like, come on. Like, Lightspeed Rescue has one, and they just say their name. I mean, like, that's it. We can just say Cosmic Roar. It's perfect.
Do we really need one?
The Guardian just goes, well, it is tradition. I'll leave it up to you all to decide, though.
Great.
Yeah, yelling out a dumb phrase to morph.
Rai just kind of looks sad, and he's like, I'll keep working on it. I gotta find one that you guys all like. In the meantime, though, and then he just sits back down in front of the Lightspeed Rescue gate and just keeps watching. And the Guardian then goes, don't you all have other things to attend to down on Earth, maybe?
Cold and sick. I have some time saved up. Boss won't mind. I'll head back tomorrow.
Very well. And Rai's like, oh, I don't want to go. Like, again, acting like a petulant toddler like he did last time. He's like, I don't want to go. I want to keep watching this. And
I don't want to go. You can't make me.
like, and so, Morgana, what do you have to say to this?
Probably should go and let everyone know I'm still alive.
And the Guardian goes, very well. And so he, like, waves his hand, and Morgana and Rai both poof back down to earth. Like, yes, Rai too. He is forced. So meanwhile, what's Tamaki up to?
What time of day would you say it is currently?
I'd say around maybe little past noon.
Well, that's around lunchtime, so she's probably in the kitchen helping her grandma make food.
What's she making?
I mean, this restaurant is basically like just this little like old school Japanese like kind of it's almost food stall like, but a bit classier. So like
Mega food stall.
well, I didn't want to be like literally mean and be like, oh, it's totally a beef bowl restaurant. Like that's definitely an option, but like there's a bit more there.
I see.
So she's just probably like, oh, I got it. She's checking on the curry right now.
Okay, so she then hears. I take it the door has like a bell, like most restaurants.
Yeah, the very classic like dingling like it just rings whenever you go in, but for some reason it doesn't ring when you
Leave.
like close the door.
Right. Okay, so suddenly you hear someone entering this little food place, which isn't getting much business today, surprisingly. Uh, it is a man, kind of scruff looking, tall, muscular. He's in a dark white suit, and he sits down. He just goes, "All right, I'd like your biggest beef bowl."
Why certainly. Can I get a name for the order?
Car you.
Sure thing, Mr. Caryu. And she just kind of rings the bell and just kind of takes down the order.
All right, roll it. See how good of a beef bowl you make.
Right. Roll 1d6. Considering that Tamaki at least has a background in cooking, like, can she get a +1 on this at least?
Sure.
Nice.
Dude, rip. So
That's why I want to ask for that.
so she tries to make one, but like it ends up coming out like one of the weakest beef bowls ever. Like there's definitely a bowl, but the beef part's a bit lacking.
I gotcha. There's a tiny.
He caught us
little
at he
speck
caught us
of
at the worst time because we are like all basically out of beef. Like, well, let's say today is like Saturday and we get our like food shipments in on Sunday, or like that's when we do our grocery shopping. So like any of the beef is currently like in the curries, and we only have like enough for standard beef bowls. So
Well, it is the biggest one you could make. That's what he asked for. Like, so yeah, basic beef bowl. So you serve it to this man who kind of like has a somewhat intimidating look on his face, but you don't sense like any danger from him. He's just like, ah, yes, thank you, and he like takes it and he like engulfs that stuff like instantly, just like pours it straight down, and he's like, thank you very much, and he puts the money on the counter and he like runs off, and in the distance you hear the sound of some fighting happening, but like maybe you're not really concerned.
man, things sure are weird in this town. This is unrelated, but I wonder if I had my bike locked up. It's probably not important.
I just want to see this.
All of 5 people understand what just happened with that sequence.
Good, they are cultured individuals.
Right. Alright, so now I'm gonna say Rai suddenly bursts in the door. And he's like, Tamaki, what did you get out of all the stuff, out of what happened to us a few days ago? I've been thinking really hard about it myself.
Nice to see you too, Rye.
Don't ask how I knew how to find you.
Okay. Well, while I was in the hospital, I had a lot of time to think, and I thought about what Trex said to me, and I think I figured it out. He wants me to work on my geography, right? So I'm going to try to find out as much as I can about the Aura Stones, and maybe that'll help us unlock some sort of like hidden Power Ranger secret, or maybe like some sort of like.
And then
you know where I'm going with this.
And you just see Rye. He kind of has like his hand to his face, just thinking, and he's like, "But Tom, isn't that gemology?"
Oh, well, what did I say?
Geography.
I'll give it more time.
Okay, but now
Shouldn't be that hard to figure out.
Yeah, well, don't worry about that. Let me tell you about this cool new phrase I thought of. And so then it pans out from that. And we now go to the Guardian again. And he's still just watching Warren, who is still like working out hard, like still going at it, right? Nonstop. Like sweating bullets, probably. Like, and
Warren summoned his hammer and is now like, he asked the Guardian to summon like a block of just something very hard and dense, and now he's just hitting it with his hammer.
So he's hitting Rye's head. Got it.
Sure.
Meanwhile, Rye's still in the restaurant. Man, I wonder why I got a headache.
Right. So suddenly the viewing globe flares up, and in it an image of a fox boy shows up, who is in the center of town. This is Keith, and he's like, and you can see him in the classic in danger sort of thing. He's just like, help, someone help, and the Guardian, then all you Rangers hear him speak to you directly into your minds. He goes, "Rangers, it seems there's a disturbance downtown."
Tamaki hears this and is just like, "Hey, Rye, you got that too?"
And Rye's like, "Got what? Oh, you mean the phrase? Oh yeah, I've got a million of them. Here, let me tell you about."
No, the blue dude.
Oh, yeah, but can't that wait?
I don't think it can. Look, I'm not gonna be much help for a while, so like, can you please like do something? It's better to have like someone on the job.
All right, I got you. You sure you can't fight? We could use the help.
Hang on. Hey, Grandma, I'm heading out with my friend.
And you just hear her call, "Oh, that's all right, dear. Go ahead."
All right. I'll give you a hand, but like I'm not gonna be able to do much. I'm still trying to recover. Remember?
Yeah, no problem. Now repeat after me. Roaring around, and he like morphs, like in the middle of the stand without really thinking about it. And he's like, "Yeah, that was cool. I got it."
Tamaki just kind of sighs, and she just kind of goes, "Henshin," fucking strikes a pose, and just kind of out the door.
Henshin? Who would even say that? I mean, really, you have to... So Rai and Tamaki are headed towards the scene.
Warren will just, ask the Guardian to teleport him to the location.
Not a problem. And with a wave of his hand, Warren is teleported. Morgana, do you head towards the scene? You do or you don't?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. It cut out.
Yeah, you could.
Are you heading towards the scene?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're all headed there. Classic Power Rangers thing where they all like line up, and all of you see a familiar fox boy surrounded by parasites, and he is scared witless.
Wait a minute, I recognize that face.
And you just
That's
hear him
the
crying
guy
out,
that
"Someone
killed-
help! Ah!"
Serves you right for giving us that garbage of a drink.
Warren
That
teleports literally in the air and drops down and slams one of the things with his hammer.
So is he morphed right now?
He morphs as he's coming down.
Okay. So which one you want to drop down on?
He goes through the gate unmorphed and comes out morphed.
This one.
Okay, so I'm gonna say it counts as a surprise attack, so I'll give you +1 on to hit. So roll your 2d6. +1. Alright, 9. Literally can't beat a 9, so roll your damage.
2d6 plus 1 or just 2d6?
Just 2d6. 9 again. Okay, so 9. So you come down, you slam your hammer. It obviously like splats, but it like quickly like oozes away and goes to reform itself. You definitely have the attention of these 3 parasites now, and Keith's like, and there's also now, because of the disturbance, there's a little bit of a crowd starting to gather because civilians are dumb, and they're like, "It's the Power Rangers! So, they'll save us, yay!" And they're like cheering you guys on. Meanwhile, Keith, he's just trying to like find a way to get the heck out of here at the current moment.
I wasn't really sick.
Yes.
All did was found dead.
So, let me now... Where is that thing? Here we go, turn order.
We were rolling for that.
Yeah, we're about to. I'm gonna give Warren, because he did the initiative, I'm gonna give him the first one. So... But yeah, everyone roll a 1d6 for initiative. I'm just gonna auto put Warren in first place. So yeah, definitely got the attention of this thing. And now, in retaliation, this parasite just kind of jets forward like a spike, trying to impale what just attacked it. So, it's gonna roll to hit. Beat a 2.
I mean, it's impossible for him not to beat a 2.
3.
It's close.
Yeah, so, yeah, it instantly retaliates. You're feeling a little sluggish, but you do manage to dodge just in the nick of time. It goes flying past you. And,
God!
and so, Morgana, what are you gonna do now?
Shouldn't Keith be on the turn order?
Oh, don't worry.
Well, I'm split between chasing after Keith and fighting the monsters. I need to get payback.
For what? What did Keith do?
Poison me, but I'll get.
I mean, he didn't, but like, okay.
I'll get in between him and the monsters, and I will.
Keith was totally the guy who was selling the garbage at the fair. What are you talking about?
True. Alright, so is Morgana morphed right now, or no?
Yes.
Okay.
I ran over there morphed. Well, morphed then ran over there.
Okay, and so now you're attacking the second parasite here?
Yeah.
Alright, roll to hit. Roll your 2d6. Okay, literally can't beat a 7. Roll damage. Well, why do you have +1?
Because attack.
Oh, yeah.
Remember?
Yeah, I remember. Okay. Okay, yeah, literally can't beat that, so roll your damage.
Whoa, not 2-6. 6.
6. Okay, so how do you attack this thing?
My fist.
You just run up and punch it?
I encase it in earth and punch it.
Okay, just like, I'm gonna say, because otherwise you'd be using a charge, I'm just gonna say you use dirt, and you just slap it. Like,
Yeah.
like
Pocket sand.
kinda. If it had eyes, it would be offended. But, so yeah, you run up and you punch it. It definitely reacts, your fist doesn't get caught in it. And, just like the previous parasite. Well, not quite. Instead, what it's going to do is it's going to try and leap over you to get to its initial prey. So...
I'm sorry, you were breaking up on my end.
Okay. It's going to try and ooze over you to reach Keith.
Okay, will it hit Keith, or... is
That
it
depends.
trying to get to him?
That depends.
Well, I mean, if I don't intervene, will it hit him?
It just got a 6, so probably. Like,
Okay, well...
so,
going
hold on.
to roll to...
You've already done your thing. So, I'm going to have Rye intervene.
Alright.
So, let's see, and I'm going to give him a +1. Oh, wow. Damn, that really saved him. Okay, so, Rye goes, "Whoa," and he, like, jumps in, and he, like, basically kind of, like, rider kicks the parasite out of the way. So, that said, he kind of just did in a spur of the moment. I'm going to reduce his damage slightly. So, 2d6. Let's say, let's just say 1d6 for his damage. Oh, 6, wow. Rye caught that thing way off guard, so it goes flying a little bit over, more towards Warren's direction. And there we go, and Rye kind of just signals out to Keith, and he's like, "Alright, the coast is clear, run!" And Keith's like, "You don't gotta tell me," and he, like, moves over to hide behind a nearby building. But he's still, like, watching the action, right? So... now it's the third parasite's turn. And... it... instead... tries to, like, slither down on the ground and, like, tries to, like, just kind of try and eat somebody from the ground up. I'm gonna say it goes after Eeny, Meeny, Miny, Morgana. So... slithers forward, tries to bind her, so... beat a 6. Like, dang. 9. Okay, so... You notice it slithering towards you and you just hop out the way. No problem.
Good.
Tom, what's your move?
Tamaki's just gonna try to, like, keep distance from these things and, like, back Rye up. So she's gonna shoot a wind blast at the monster that's on Rye.
Okay. Use a charge and roll to hit.
Alright. Roll 2d6.
Okay, 7. He can't beat a 7, so roll your damage. 3. Tamaki is really not feeling it, so her air power, like she throws a razor wind, but it just kind of like nicks the parasite and just kind of annoys it a little. It's just like again, if these things had emotions, it'd just kind of be like, ow, and just like kind of brush itself off. You know?
I mean, it's not easy to fight when one of your arms are in a cast effectively.
Right. And Keith sees this and he calls out and he's like, "Hey, Green Ranger, wouldn't it be more effective to use your geography?"
Literally, what does that mean?
And so now, Warren, what are you up to currently?
He's going to see the one that was knocked towards him by Morgana and is going to take opportunity of it and is going to perform like a burst of like ice spiking out around him. He's going to try to hit both of them.
Okay, so use up a charge and I'll let you roll 2d6 plus 2 for your hit.
Is that blue or red?
That is red for your charges. Blue is armor. There. Okay, so you rolled an 8. Neither of them can beat that, so roll damage, same dice. 9. Okay, so you shoot ice everywhere, but the thing you didn't account for is because you're doing it in a burst around you, this is kind of a close quarters fight, so your shards are also headed towards Rye and Morgana, because they sliced right through the parasites. So Morgana and Rai are now gonna have to roll to dodge. So 2d6, Joe,
Beat an 8.
Well, it's not
or get equal to 1 at the very least.
That worked.
Okay,
Fuck.
so Rai really quickly like heats up his hands and like just kind of swats a few of the ice shards away from him. Meanwhile, Morgana, you're kind of caught off guard and you get nicked. I'm gonna say you take 4 points of damage to your armor. So yeah, and so Rai calls out and he's like, "Warren, what the heck? Watch it, man!"
Sorry.
Like, so, and I'm gonna roll perception on Rai real quick. 2. Okay, he doesn't really see anything wrong at the moment. Like, he kind of has a sort of suspicion, but he's really not concerned. He's kind of more focused on fighting. So, if anyone else wants to roll perception, you're free to. It's up to you.
Okay.
I mean, it's not like Tamaki is particularly in the fray,
Right.
so she's
Is it
pretty
just
aware of
one, or
her
is it-
surroundings.
It's 1d6 or is it 2?
I'm gonna say 1, so I'm just gonna give you a 5, Tom.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops. I accidentally entered the wrong command. There.
Both you. Okay, meanwhile, Tamaki and Morgana both notice that Warren, while he's definitely got the spirit, his body's kind of weary. Like, he's, like, rocking back and forth a little bit. He's kind of, like, holding his head like he's got a headache, you know? Like,
I shout out to him and ask him if he's okay.
Are you okay?
stand up!
Get serious.
There's nothing physically wrong with him, or is it just...
Well, that's up. Well, that depends. How does Warren respond?
I'm fine. Just focus on killing these things.
Okay. But if you fall, I'm not carrying you again.
Alright, so Parasite 1 notices you guys talking and it goes for a sneak attack on Warren, trying to like latch onto his back, like to glue to him. So I'm gonna say it gets a +1 due to a surprise attack. So
That's assuming that Warren turned away from his enemy.
yeah, well he would have to talk to Morgana, right?
No, it wouldn't.
No.
Like,
You wouldn't have to look back to talk to somebody.
I mean, it would definitely get your attention if someone yelled at you, though, right?
All right, so he's momentarily distracted.
Like, why am I getting so many 6s? Beat
You
a
need to
7.
Stop that.
Like, beat a 7 with your 2d6 10. Okay, so it goes. It goes to, and as Warren is saying, I'm fine, you know, focus on fighting these things. It goes to latch, and Warren just kind of like pirouettes out of the way. And
What are you doing?
so Parasite again passes by him without touching him. So, alright, Morgana, what are you gonna do?
Well, shit. I'm gonna slap it again.
Morgana, the ultimate slap fighter. Which one you going for?
One I slapped earlier.
So, the second Parasite, okay.
Yeah.
1-800, are you slapping?
Alright, so roll to hit. 8. It can't beat an 8, so roll damage.
Whatever.
That's enough to kill it anyway. Like, so.
Go with it. I was confused.
Alright, so with one mighty slap, the second Parasite like splatters all over the ground, and none of the goo is moving anymore.
I just shake the goo off my hand.
Yeah, like just
Did Morgana just Team Rocket the slime?
kinda.
Fitting, since it's goldenrod.
What are you talking about? This is the town of Rolte, not Goldenrod. What?
Golden Rolte.
Never helps you sleep at night.
By the way, I'm surprised neither of you two have figured out where the name Rolte comes from. But like, you know, that's for another discussion. Anyway,
Well, I don't know how it's spelled, so
It's I'll put it in the Discord. It's literally spelt like this. So
I should know, but it's not coming.
I understand now.
Tom put it together.
I see what you did there.
Thank you. So, alright, so now Rye's turn. And he's like, oh man, this is what I live for. So, I'm gonna have him expel a charge. And he lights his fists ablaze. And he's like, let me show you guys something new I came up with. I call it my cool strikes. And so, let me just pull up his sheet real quick to make sure I'm remembering his ability properly.
Cool strikes is probably like a double hit thing.
Let's see. No. Where did his cool strikes go? There it is. Okay, that's what I thought. It's literally just like a +1 to his combat rolls. So nothing cool yet, but he does like all these like again like Sandman style like poses, and he like goes into kung fu, this parasite with like his burning hands. So
Kung Fu Rayman.
yeah, so I'm gonna give it a +2 because he ignited both his hands up. 10, it can't beat that, so let's do the same die for damage. 6. So he's like, yeah, like he's trying to style, but it's like it's hurting it, but like not really by much.
It's more flesh than function.
Exactly. He's like, yeah, look at me, guys, I'm awesome, woo! Like, and meanwhile, the parasite's just kind of like taking it, like, well.
I mean, I would say aim for the vitals, but where are those on this thing?
Right.
Look it in the eyes. It looks like it has eyes.
So after getting poked repeatedly by burning fingers, literally, Parasites had enough, and it just like its top part just kind of like hardens into a ball, and it like goes to like literally like punch Rye back like a wrecking ball. So
I came in like a wrecking
kinda. So Rye has to beat a 5.
2.
8.
Oh.
Okay, so it goes, and Rye dodges out of the way. He's very full of himself. He's like, yeah, look at me go. So he's fine. Like,
Watch where you're jumping.
oh, sorry. And now it's Tom's turn.
Alright, so she seems to have a pretty good vantage point where she is, so she's just gonna stay where she is and fire off another wind blast.
Okay, use another charge and roll
Yep.
roll your die. 9. Okay, literally can't be beaten, so roll damage. 5. Oh, she's still not feeling it.
I mean, that's better than before. She's getting it back.
Yeah. So which one were you aiming at?
The one I hit previously, the one that was on Rye.
Okay, so after Rye pirouettes out of the way, Tamaki throws another Razor Wind, and this one actually seems to do a little bit better. It definitely stops the Parasite in its tracks,
I
you
mean,
could
I
say.
don't have to curve around Ryan anymore, so I have a cleaner hit.
Yeah. You could say it stopped it in its tracks. But,
Yeah.
So, and Rye just kind of gives Tom a thumbs up, like, yeah, you go, we're awesome. So, alright, so, Warren, what's up with you?
Bada swing! No, he's gonna save his charges for the moment.
Okay.
So, he's just gonna slam his hammer into the thing's face.
Question mark? So just bring...
Oh!
Dang! Okay, so that's a crit hit, so for damage, I'm gonna let you roll 3d6 for damage. Since that's a natural crit confirm. No.
Oh.
2 6s and then 3 3s.
I swear, give him a bonus.
I'd be darned.
Just because.
Alright, so yeah, you bring down the hammer, this thing splats even more, and it's very visibly, like, not got much juice left in it. And, so, it's now trying to get away, and as a last-ditch effort to get away from the crazy man with whom is bringing hammers down upon it, the parasite instead tries to latch on and eat Morgana. And Keith goes, Yellow Ranger, look out! So I'm going to give it a -1 to its hit. 0.
Okay.
And it just kind of...
And it goes to, like, lunge, but then it, like, stops, as if it's, like, visibly very weak. Like, almost as if a hand was trying to reach out and just couldn't make it. So, Morgana, how do you respond to this?
I'm gonna slap it.
just keep slapping.
I have nothing else I can do.
Hey, as long as it works.
I don't have a weapon, and there it slaps.
Throwing dynamite isn't a Power Ranger skill.
Well, hey, if it works. Like, so, okay, Morgana, just roll. I'm just gonna say you hit because it's, like, super weak. It can't dodge, so just roll your damage.
I did. I rolled the hit and rolled damage.
Okay, so...
Yeah, the 9 was to hit and the 4 was damage.
Okay, I wasn't paying attention to the chat, so... Yeah, Morgana just kind of slaps it into the dirt, and it is dead. Like, straight up. Like, just...
Ooh.
Shake my hand off again.
Yeah, like, eh.
No
Gross.
weapon.
So, okay, so now Rye's turn. And he's like, don't worry, Tom, I will save you! Even though Tom's, like, not in any immediate danger, like, at all.
Yeah,
Like-
I was gonna say that. Tom's like,
Like, so, he runs and goes in for a claw attack, like a lion. And, let's see, 2d6, 4. So it has to beat a 4.
6.
4. And so he reaches his bare hands in, and he notices he can't pull him back out, and he's like, guys, help. So I'm just gonna roll damage straight. 1. Thankfully, it's not actively hurting him super bad at the moment, but he's starting to feel an uncomfortable tingling. You know, so... You know, Tom, if you feel like it, you might want to maybe do something. I don't know.
I'm on it.
It's up to
Spending
you.
charge.
It's doing another charge? Okay.
I'm just be glad.
I'm gonna position myself so that I'm like right here, so that it doesn't go at a weird angle, and I don't like.
Slap everyone else on it.
Right. Like somebody.
With a freaking air with a wind spell.
Okay, so this thing has to match a 6. Okay.
Why'd you have to say something?
So, I will say she shoots her air blast yet again, but the parasite sees it coming and just kind of jumps off Rye. You succeed in getting it away from him, and Rye's like, huh, thanks.
Well, I technically accomplished what I wanted to do.
Where's Keith's witty banter for this whole thing?
He's just kind of watching, observing the situation. And
He's just like, neat, Power Rangers.
kinda, and so then he calls out and he's like, "Hey, Blue Ranger, now's your chance, finish him."
And Warren is gonna spend another charge, and he's gonna basically turn the head of the hammer into a giant icicle.
Oh. So now it's a spear.
More like a war pick.
Oh, okay. Literal ice pick.
Yeah.
Okay, so you rush in. I'll let you roll to hit, and then I'll let you do 3d6 for damage. Assuming you actually hit. Okay, so let's see. What the
Edging that little thing, ain't it?
So Warren brings down the ice pick. The parasite just manages to dodge, and I'm gonna have everybody roll perception yet
Aw.
again. Okay, so Rye doesn't see Jack. 3. Okay, Keith notices. Alright, so I'm gonna say anyone who rolled 3 or higher, so that's like everybody but Rye, who is oblivious apparently.
And wise.
Yeah. They notice that as Warren brought it down and missed, not only is he a bit agitated, but he's also like kind of out of breath, right? And so Keith then goes, is he all right?
No idea.
Basically, if Warden didn't have his helmet on, he'd kind of be frothing at the mouth right now.
Yeah. And it's at this
We
moment.
can't see it, but the inside of his helmet is hella fogged.
Yeah. And it's at this moment, too, that the parasite says, screw this, I'm out of here, and slinks away. Rye runs forward, and he's very happy. He's like, yeah, guys, we won, we did it, go team. And he, like, offers a high five to Warren, like, still oblivious to his condition.
He's like, he has, Warren currently has a death grip on his hammer. He's like, you can see that he's breathing heavily, just like his chest is heaving.
And Rye just kind of then, Rye just kind of high fives himself, and he's like, yeah, we win. Like, go team.
Hey, Blue, you might want to take it easy. The battle's over. We won.
He seems to pause for a moment. He takes a deep breath, and he lets it out. You're right.
And
Well, guess we'll have to. Guess we should keep an eye out for that thing.
And Rye's just like, I say we all go out to celebrate. I mean, well, I guess it's not our first victory, but it's our first victory as a team, right? Like, that deserves something.
I mean, we're definitely getting the team thing down better, so, like, why not?
I could go for food.
And then Rye just kind of puts an arm around Warren. He's like, what do you say, buddy? Come on.
Fine.
And then Keith kind of steps out, and he's like, is it safe?
No.
Yeah, you're safe, citizen. You can go home now.
Huh. Thanks, Rangers. You're great. And he, like, starts to walk off, like, kind of slow. So...
Tamaki will just kind of, like, keep an eye on him and make sure, like, nothing jumps him until he's, like, out of her view.
I'm surprised Morgana doesn't want to chase him, but hey.
I do.
I mean, go for it if you want to.
I mean, if that's what he wants to do.
You're like-
I'm in the ranger outfit. I can't just go slap a citizen. for no reason.
I mean, you could, but it probably wouldn't be a good
Jump
idea.
into an alley, unmorph, run out, and then slap him.
Oh shit.
So, he's gone now. Let's remove the turn order thing. We'll be using it again later. Alright. So now we pan over, scene transition. Would Tom recommend his grandma's restaurant to everybody?
I mean, if nobody is in the mood for anything particular, I'll just, hey, let's go back to my grandma's place and I'll treat everyone.
Alright, so I'm just gonna say over here's the restaurant, because it was kind of over here anyway. Like, whatever.
Thought it was.
I know.
Restaurant doubles as a gym?
Totally. So, but no, technically it's building 7 over here, but like close enough, okay? Like, but like, so
Yeah, the upstairs is a gym.
totally. So yeah, we pan over. Everyone's eating together, and Rye's feeling really good about himself, and he's like, man, you know, guys, I gotta share something with you. I always dreamed of being the best Red Ranger there ever was, and, you know, I think I'm already there. Well, I guess no one's as good as Lightspeed Red, but, like, who's that cool? I mean, really.
You fight a couple monsters and you get a little too big for your bridges. Why does this sound familiar?
And he immediately replies, Morgana, "Oh, and you were cool too. I mean, where'd you learn those dirt slaps? You gotta teach me."
Where'd you learn how to mudsling?
And then he keeps going with like his big-headed praise, and he's like, "And Tom, you just got out of the hospital, and you were around there flinging air shots and stuff. You were great."
I did my best for what I'm able to do. I'm still not in any position to be like an actual ranger right now.
I'm sure you'll be fine. And then he lastly he like looks at Warren and he kind of puts like a hand on his shoulder and he's like, "And buddy, gotta be honest, you were slacking a little bit. But work on it. I mean, we make up for each other's weaknesses. You'll do better next time."
If looks could kill.
Everyone just gives him those.
Hey, I thought Warren did a good job.
Oh no, he didn't do a bad job. It's just all three of us were so much cooler.
Coming from the guy
He just-
whose hand almost got dissolved.
He just laser focuses on his food.
He just starts forming ice in his hand, ready just to slap him.
His drink was room
I was
temperature.
going-
It is now ice cold.
I was going to say,
Oh.
Warren, if you keep focusing like that, your food's gonna get colder even faster.
His drink is a block of ice. He tries to drink it. It slides out of the cup and hits him in the face.
All rip.
Ouch.
And
Let me get you a new one,
No.
buddy.
no, let me help. And Rye reaches out. I'm gonna do this. This is gonna be a thing.
Oh,
Bruh.
bruh.
And okay, you're lucky. So he reaches out and he touches the glass and like with his power over like heat, he melts the ice and now it's just like lukewarm. Like you probably still wouldn't want to drink it, but like it's not an ice cube. There you go.
Here in this restaurant, we only have hotish water and coldish water. Which one do you want?
Right. Like there you go, bud. See what I tell you? Just keep working at it, and maybe one day you'll be as awesome as I am.
Don't listen to him, buddy.
And so, then Tamaki's grandma walks up and she's like, "Oh, Tamaki, you didn't tell me about your new friends. Introduce me to everybody."
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. The one with the red hair is Rai. He was here earlier. The one to my left is Morgana, and the one to my right is my buddy Warren.
And Rai just kind of waves, like slightly shyly, but like still energetic. And Tamaki's grandma goes, "Oh, nice to meet you all. Warren, Morgan, and Brad. Yes." And Rai just kind of looks like
Brad.
dumbfounded. Rai just kind of looks dumbfounded, but he's like too polite to say anything back to an old lady. So like he just kind of has to deal with it. And so then Tamaki's going, "Oh, well, you all have fun. I'm sure you all have teenager things to talk about. Oh, to be young again." And she just kind of slinks off. So Rai's like, "But yeah, I think this ranger job is going to be easy street. We don't have anything to worry about, especially if, all we have to do is deal with a goo monster every now and then. What's the worst that could happen?"
You said
I'd still
something about-
rather work on my abilities. Like, I'm still really. I could use the training as evidence from a few days ago.
You said something about a doom monster.
A goo monster.
Oh, goo monster.
Doom Slayer's just in the parking lot.
I'm sorry, he was cutting out, so I heard the start of it, and it sounded like doom, and then monster. I'm like,
Doom mustard.
Tamaki's second greatest nemesis, right behind the tomato.
Yes. So everyone, though, as the night continues to go, or the day rather, because it's still like afternoon, right? Everyone's just kind of
Right.
having a good time, talking about just various things, getting to know each other, because they really haven't sat down to like hang out, really, you know. So
Yeah, things have been mostly business, so like this is actually a bonding experience.
yeah, so everyone's chatting, everyone's having a good time, and Warren and Wise and I
Yeah.
discussed this, so I'm not taking control or anything here. Warren, however, like, yeah, while he's like making conversation, he's still very visibly like irritated and uncomfortable. Yeah, he's putting up a front, but not quite an effective one. So, how would you say, as these things go, how does Warren's mood continue to shape, and what is he going to do from here, Wise?
It kind of is plateaued at irritated, but as the evening goes on, like weight, it just seems like more and more weight is just placed on him, and he just kind of sags more and more, and he just looks tired.
Alright, so as things go, I'm going to have Rye roll perception here. Rye does not perceive anything. Ever. Okay, so Rye, it's been, I'm going to say it's been like 2-ish hours now, right?
Right.
And so Rye then like he kind of notices the time, and he's like, and he kind of gets up and stretches. He's like, that was great. Thanks for the food, Tom, but I gotta go.
No problem.
Okay.
Alright, catch you later, Rye.
Yeah, I got stuff to do. And he looks at Warren. He looks at everyone. He's like, and again, great job. But I guess I shouldn't say it. And it's really obvious what he's talking about, because he's kind of like just dead eye staring at Warren. And he's like, well,
Because he's just being like that.
pretty much. And so he's like, well, off to go save more random civilians. And he runs off. So I'm just going to put him over there. It's not really to signify anything. I just dragged him out of the way.
So, you know how traditionally red is the color of the leader?
Yeah.
Morgana
I don't know that
immediately
much
says
from
no.
Power Rangers.
Can we make an exception to that rule?
I mean, the Guardian said that we can decide if we want to act on tradition or not, so, I say we could put it to a vote and later.
Good. He stands up, puts some money on the table. He says, I'm heading home. See you later.
Okay,
Are you good to walk?
And he kind of... He walks, but it seems like he's constantly falling forward, but he is keeping his feet under him.
I'm gonna wait until Warren's out of earshot, like out of the restaurant, and be like, hey, Morgana, I know you don't really owe me anything, but could you please try to check on him? Like, I got stuff I have to do later, and I'd prefer to get it out of the way now.
Yeah, alright.
Thank you for this.
Yeah, don't mention it.
Alright,
And,
so
get
Morgana,
up
I'm going to
and
have
bill.
you roll a 1d6 for perception here. 6. Okay. So you head out of the restaurant, and you do see Warren. He's a bit of ways down the road. He's still kind of like stumbling. But you do see that he's definitely walking like with a purpose, despite him obviously being weak.
And he doesn't head towards any sort of apartments or housing complexes that you're aware of. He actually heads After a little while, he heads to an auto shop, or like a auto repair garage, and he unlocks the door and goes in.
Alright, so what building would you like for his auto shop to be? I'll let you choose.
10.
Building 10, alright, move him over there. I have to grab a token real quick. So,
Am I safe to assume this is where he works?
I
You
mean,
can make any sort of assumption. Like, it's not like you know.
I know, but it's just
well, your character
mean,
wouldn't know, but out of character, yes, this is where he works.
all right. Well, because I mean, even that's kind of like the premise I would imagine that she would think, because the toolbox, always carrying hammers and all random kinds of assortments of tools for auto vehicles.
Right.
I mean, my character's not stupid.
Except when it comes to Power Ranger stuff, then she is very stupid.
I still think Power Ranger stuff should be like a joke negative, like 6.
Just for her.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so small scene transition. Warren stumbles into the auto shop, and there is a bit of an older man who sees him and clearly recognizes him, and he's like, "Oh, Warren, my boy, how are you? Are you all right?"
Sam, hey. I'm fine. Sorry. Sorry. I know it's late. I'm just checking in, making sure everything is good before I come back in tomorrow.
Oh yeah. We've been holding up fine, but are you sure you're good to work tomorrow? I mean, with all that's happened, I mean.
I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm just like, yeah. I didn't get hurt at that festival thing, but I got roughed up a bit, so I just needed to rest a bit. I got bruises mostly.
Oh.
I got knocked down, jostled in the panic to get out, but I'm mostly fine. And he goes over to the vending machine that is in. He's like 1 second. He goes into the break room, goes to the vending machine, and he gets himself like the biggest energy drink that they have. And he,
Roll
buys
1d6.
What?
Roll it.
Vending machine, you say?
Roll it.
Okay. You good?
He rolled a 6. Okay, so
Oh no.
not only do you get a energy drink, but like 5 other drinks just kind of shoot out of the machine at Mach speed. and Sam just goes, "Oh yeah, sorry, that thing's been acting up. I tried to fix it myself. I guess I didn't quite do a good job."
Warren just kind of looks at them for a minute before just like kind of stuffing them in his bag. He takes one and he just shotguns it.
That can't be healthy.
And Sam's like, "Yeah, business has been actually kind of slow. What with everything that's happened. I mean, people are still keeping their eye mostly on the news. Not many people are out and about on town lately. I mean, heck, I heard there was an attack earlier today. Did you see that? Like,
I heard on the news.
yeah, in the middle of our city too. Like, a lot of people were thinking about moving out. Man, that stuff's nuts."
Yeah. Power Rangers have, taken care of stuff like this before. They'll do it again.
Hope you're right. From what the media has been saying, they're busy all over the place. Like, we haven't seen stuff like this since I was little, actually. And he seems to kind of reminisce a little bit.
And the energy drink seems to like wake him up a bit, and he just kind of he's like he's shaking himself loose, that sort of thing. He's like, oh, you'd think that with all these monster attacks, more people's cars would get wrecked, and we'd get more business.
And Sam chuckles a bit, and he's like, "Yeah, you got a point there."
Not much in car damage, but man, we got a lot of bikes.
Yeah, bike. I'm actually gonna roll for that. 2. Okay. And
we got 2 bikes that need repair.
and Sam's like, Yeah, I mean, I heard some things about a bike thief or a bike wrecker. I don't get it. Like, I don't know.
Well, I suppose with all the panic, looting is to be expected.
Well, yeah, and he kind of looks at him. He's like, actually, I was thinking about closing up early. I mean, again, this has been slow, so you know.
Oh, so sorry. It was my understanding that it was actually like in the evening, so I didn't
Well,
realize it was so.
it is, but like, it's still at least the ones near me, they don't close until like 8ish. So I'd say like right now it's around like 6ish.
Dang, that's.
That's early.
Yeah.
I was going to say that's farther along in the than I thought.
Nah. Let's just say 5 or 6, whatever. But
6 works.
It doesn't really matter. That's around the time I wanted to do my thing.
okay. So Sam then goes up to Warren. He's like, just take care of yourself. I mean, I don't think your folks would appreciate it very much if I sent you their son home sick. Like,
No, I'm fine. And he pats the man on the shoulder.
all right. And so now we and what's Morgana doing right now? Has she been like spying on the situation or what? Like, what's she doing at the current moment?
I mean, yeah, kind of.
Okay, so
I mean, it's like outside. She
Yeah.
didn't go in the building, but
she's
yeah.
peeking in through the rear window, like just kind of looking at things. All right. So now let's transition over to Tamaki. What's up with her?
All right, so at this point in the day, she's like finishing up with like helping out her grandma. You see her like in the kitchen just finishing something up. She has something wrapped up. It's kind of small, and she just kind of like stuffs it away into like her coat pockets. Like it's not small enough to comfortably fit there, so there's like a noticeable bulge of something there.
Mm-hmm.
And she just kind of shouts to her grandma, "All right, I'm going shopping now.
All right,
I'll be
dear.
back in a few hours."
Have fun.
And with that, she is going to go over here, where I'm going to say is a hardware store.
All right, and so we transition to inside this hardware store, and Tamaki is in the tools aisle just trying to get a toolbox full of various tools to repay Warren, because after all, she did say she would buy it. So
She's sticking to it.
yeah, and now while she's like browsing around, like trying to like remember everything Warren had, because like this was days
She's
ago.
got a list, remember? He
Yeah.
wrote one out.
Yeah, true. So, and then an old man walks up to Tamaki and goes, "Ah, young miss, or is it young man? I can't tell with you kids nowadays. Can you direct me to the nearest blowtorch?"
Blowtorch. Sorry, sir, I don't work here. I'm just shopping.
Oh, that's nice, dear. Anyway, as I was saying, I need a blowtorch because, back in my youth, I was quite the welder, you know. They used to call me Samson the Great Heater. Or was it Cheater? I don't remember. Anyway.
The Great Eater.
So, I could tell you so many stories, and he just, like, keeps going. Like this old man cannot be stopped.
Like, unless this old man becomes obscenely obstructive, like, she's just going to carry on with her shopping and hope eventually staff comes by and, like, whisks this man away.
And he keeps following her, just talking about nonsense, like the entire, like, I just saw Star Wolf. I remember Star Wolf. That was my favorite movie back in the day. You know, I used to work on a band named Star Wolf. We used to play ska, and it just keeps going. Poor Tamaki.
And she's just kind of minding her own business and, like, checking one thing after another off the list. Like, got the drill, got the wrenches.
So now we go away from that, and now we're with Rye. And he's just kind of running up and down the streets, just looking for somebody to help, because, like, he's the Red Ranger. He's a hero, after all. He's not morphed, but he's trying to, like, prove himself as an upstanding citizen. Alright? So, I'm gonna roll for something real quick. Oh, perfect. Okay, so we get a scene where he comes across a couple kids, and they're like, my kitty's stuck in the tree, and the cat's like nonplussed and is just sitting on a tree branch, and Rye's like, don't worry, I'll do it, and he like leaps up and immediately falls on his butt, like just out of the tree, like, why? And then the cat jumps down like on his face and then like just walks off, and the kids like are like, whatever, weirdo, and everyone just walks off. So now we'll transition to the next day. Okay, where is everybody at?
Warren's at the shop.
He came bright and early to work, huh?
Yep.
Alright, how about everybody else?
Well, what time of day do you say it is right now?
Well, let's see. Wise, how far into a shift would you say Warren is currently? I'll let you decide.
I'd say it is opening of the shift at 8 a.m. Sam actually comes in and Warren is already there.
Okay, so it's 8 a.m. So where is everybody at 8 a.m.?
Probably asleep.
Yep.
Tamaki's like, I'm enjoying my air hammock. Don't worry.
But, so, can I get my armor back?
Oh yeah, since it's a new day, can we replenish our resources?
I am gonna say everybody is back to full, except Warren, who loses resources.
Oof.
Oof.
So I'm gonna say reduce everything by a quarter for Warren.
Oh, damn.
Mm-hmm. There we go. Alright, so yeah, he's not feeling great. Like he's still in the shop working, like getting an early start, but he's
Hey.
not.
Could you have Sam roll a perception?
Certainly. Loading. There we go. 5.
So he noticed. Okay, so Warren is currently underneath a car. He can hear like the tapping and clanging of tools, and he looks down, and around Warren's legs, his mind flashes back to the vending machine and shooting out 5 additional energy drink cans.
Mm-hmm.
There are 4 crushed energy drink cans around his feet.
Oh dear.
Oh no.
Oh, no.
So-
That's how you have a heart attack.
Kinda. And Sam immediately recognizes it, kind of picks one up, and he's like, Warren, are you crazy?
What?
Yeah, you kind of didn't clean up your mess. How long have you been here?
What time is it?
We just opened.
Did we?
Yeah, we did. It's like 3 minutes past 8 a.m.
Oh. Alright. And he just goes back to work.
You sure you don't want the day off?
I'm good.
All
I'm good. I'm chill.
right, so
You hear like the sound of a socket wrench.
so I'm gonna have him roll perception again. 7. Okay. So
Damn.
Sam looks over the car that Warren's actually working on, and he's like, you know, I've actually never seen a car like this before, now that I think about it. And it's like a very like stylized, like would not actually ever exist in real life, like blue sports car. And Sam's like, you know, I didn't really question it when the dude brought it in like the other day.
It's time for Ask a Ranger.
Hi everybody, it's me, Ryan. Welcome to another segment of Ask a Ranger. Today's question comes from Noodleman95, and he asks, hey Warren, how does it feel to be a ranger? I'm pretty interested in that. Wait a
Well,
minute.
you see, it's very interesting because I just got thrown into being a ranger. Why are you staring at me like that?
I don't think you're Warren.
Excuse you, Rob, but I believe that the group all know that I am Warren, race car and waterman extraordinaire, and if you keep giving me lip, I'll take away your moonshine for a week.
I don't know. You seem a little sus right now.
Look, I will prove it. See, I have this here toolbox and a wrench, and I love me my sledgehammers. I even wear a hat designed as one.
Yeah, Warren does tend to wear a hat a lot.
See, Warren. Now, as I was saying, being a ranger. Anyway, let me just
Hey.
get this in.
What in the hell are you doing? This is supposed to be my episode, you asshole.
There
Hey,
are two Warrens?
gotta go.
Get that ass. Get back here. Get out of here. So, asking me questions, huh?
Yeah. This question was from Noodleman or whatever. They ask, how does it feel to be a ranger, Warren?
All right, hang on. I'm setting the toolbox down. Where did this thing come from? Where did this crappy toolbox come from? Get this out of here. Anyway, oof. How's it feel to be a ranger? Well, you know, it really is a big responsibility, and you know, just having to save people and all that.
And
But
we're out of time. That's all,
What?
folks. Thanks.
wait,
Bye.
what? Hey, hold on. Was he trying to imitate me? I don't even have a southern accent.
Alright, we should be live again. We took our intermission on an unexpected point because my net decided to die. So, you know, as you do. But we're back, so I'll just start over from the scene I was describing before my net pooped. Alright, so Sam kind of looks over the car that Warren is working on at the moment, right? And he's like, you know, thinking about it, I don't think I've ever seen a car that's quite like this one. And it's a very stylized blue sports car, like one that you would only expect to exist on like a toy car in terms of design, right? And he's like, and Sam's like, you know, I didn't really question it when the guy brought it in the other day, but like, now I'm looking at it, it's weird, huh? What does Warren have anything to say about this?
Yeah, I looked at the work order. It said he only needed an oil change, but this thing needs some serious work.
It's then that they hear the door open to the auto shop, and in walks a man who looks a little young, but not. He's very obviously like. Let's put it this way: he's aged well, but he's in his like late 20s, maybe early 30s. And he walks in and he's like, "Hey, Sam, is my ride done yet?" And Sam looks over and goes, Warren, this is our client, Ian. Say hi.
He rolls out from underneath the car and he just gives a small wave. Hey.
Alright, so Warren, I want you to roll perception with a +2. 8. Okay, dang. You didn't even need it. After saying that, Warren immediately recognizes who this guy is. This is Ian of the Power Rangers Nitro Boost team. Ian just kind of kneels down to Warren and like gives him a wink, and he's like, "Hey, big guy sent me." Like just kind of whispers to him.
He just nods.
And Sam's like, "Oh, do you guys know each other?" Or...
Oh, yeah. I joined a racing club sort of thing. And we're just
Oh,
like
you know, hobbies.
a group, just a hobbyist group, and yeah, I just recognized him. He's a member of it.
Oh, well, that's neat. So, and then Sam's like, so, like, dude, what right? And Ian then kind of like cuts him off before he like starts asking too many questions. He's like, hey, yeah, Sam, you know, consider I didn't know he even worked here. You mind if I take him out to catch up on old times? And Sam's like, well, I think he could use a break, so sure, I can finish up, whatever. And Sam just looks down at Warren. He's like, good with you?
I guess. Yeah. Sam, oil's been changed. Turns out that that the tires needed to be realigned. Did that. Just need to. And I assume like Ian's just kind of like leading him out, and Warren's just kind of like listing things off he's done and things that need to be done, and then just the door just slams.
Pretty much, yeah. Like, okay, so now I'm just gonna drag us over to this house because it's the one that's near water, and we've seen transition to Ian and Warren. They're inside a lakeside house at the very edge of town, and you could say this lake is very great in size. So Warren and Ian are both kind of just sitting on a couch, and Ian, very relaxed, very chill. He's just kind of like, so my man, Mr. Guardian guy sent me. What's going on? He didn't tell me much. He doesn't tell anyone much. I kind of noticed.
What do you mean?
Well, he just
What,
said
what did he say?
he just said you needed my help. So what do you need help with?
I need to get better.
Better at what?
Stronger, I guess. Better at being a Power Ranger. Like, I didn't expect any of this. Like, it just kind of fell into my lap. Like, the Guardian told me that, you know, that people volunteer to be Power Rangers, but it seemed like we were chosen. Like, I had no idea what I was getting myself into until somebody had told me, hey, you need to save the world. And I'm like, I guess I'm saving the world now, or at least I'm trying to save the world. And I don't know, I just don't feel like I am strong enough to save the world.
I see. And he nods kind of knowingly because it sounds all too familiar to him. And he looks Warren up and down, and he's like, oh, man. When was the last time you took a day off, dude?
What's today?
Today would be Friday.
When was the festival?
Then he, like, thinks for a sec. Well, I only know about the festival from news. I think I heard about that incident, like, almost a week ago now?
The Saturday before last.
Oh. And he just kind of looks at him, and he's like, Warren,
And he has heavy bags under his eyes. His hair is definitely he has not had a shower in probably a week, maybe more. And there are bruises on this guy, and he does not look steady on his feet.
Ian just kind of stands up, and he's like, I see what the issue is. Warren, you need to learn how to relax, man.
How am I supposed to relax? I saw people die. All right, I saw people swallowed up by those things, those blob creatures, because I didn't know I was a Power Ranger, and even after learning I've become a Power Ranger, I'm still having trouble beating down these formless blobs that are like the he like tries to think back to when he was younger, when he actually did watch the original Power Rangers series when he was like a little kid, and his but like the putty creatures from what was her name?
And Ian goes, Rita. Like,
Rita. Yeah, Rita's minions, the putty creatures, like those, they took them down like nothing, and I have trouble against one of these blob creatures.
Ian goes, he listens, and he seems to kind of understand. He's like, hey Warren, let me show you something, and he like motions for him to follow, right? And
All right.
and they walk over to the beach of that's like nearby this house, and Ian starts to strip right there. Like, and
Bruh.
and he's got a swimsuit on underneath his clothes, and he's like, Warren, when's the last time you had a swim, man? And he just kind of hops in the water, and he's like, come on in, dude, water's great.
And did you say this was the pool or just like on like the beach side?
Beachside.
And he looks out on the water, and he kind of feels like a tug that he hadn't realized that had actually been there the entire time, with just how like strung up he's felt, and strung out. Sorry, and just like he feels the water calling to him, and he just kind of like takes off his shirt, takes his phone and wallet out of his pants, and then just kind of like falls into the water.
Okay, and so we then get this scene of the two swimming out a bit, and Ian motions they go under the water, and they do, and he points out, the fish swimming around vibrantly, the beautiful undersea rocks, all this great scenery that just happens to be right by the town that no one really seems to ever go to or appreciate. And after a little bit of swimming around, they come back up to shore, and Ian goes, Warren, I don't know if you got what I was trying to tell you there, man, so I'll just say it. You need to take time, because you're not helping anyone working yourself ragged like this. If you end up dropping, who's going to be here to, appreciate all this? Who's going to be here to save all this? You have to take your moments of joy where you can, man. You have to remember what it is you're protecting, and enjoy it, too. You're only human.
I mean, I just, I saw the original team, having their lives, whatever, but, I always just thought that was a show, just a TV show.
Oh, you think they were all strung up in business all the time? No ranger is. Well, not no ranger, but most rangers aren't, They understand. They have lives. It comes with the job. And I'm gonna say, real blunt to you, man, you can't save everybody. But it's our job to not only preserve life, but to celebrate it. At least to me, that's what it means to be a ranger.
He's quiet at that. He just seems to contemplate as he's just kind of like just floating in the water.
And Ian, as he's wondering if he's getting through, both Ian and Warren feel a sensation in their heads, and it is the Guardian. And he says, I'm sorry to interrupt, but I feel a strong presence approaching the town. You two are needed.
And it's okay.
And so Ian's like, well, duty calls. I'll help you out here, man. And so both now rush towards where this is coming from. And so we pan over, and we see Keith just kind of chilling. Just listening to some music on his, iPod mini that he won for free because he was selected to.
Yeah.
I'm glad one person got that. like, so.
I don't know why these people don't click on those banner ads more. They're just giving out iPods.
I know, right? And then the ground starts to shake, and Keith's like, and he notices a big shadow just kind of looming over him. And he looks up, and he sees a big, monstrous black goo, which now has a more humanistic shape, just stepping forward, ready to just tear up anything that gets in its way. Like, it's actively, like, slapping the sides of houses. It's tearing up the road, and Keith just like, oh, come on, not again, and he, like, starts to run. And other people are running in a panic, too, throughout the streets. And I'm gonna say that while the Guardian has contacted the other Rangers at first as well, and, even if he didn't, the disturbance probably would get their attention anyway. I mean, something's got to wake them up eventually. But I will say that because they were in bed or otherwise busy, Ian and Warren are the first to arrive on the scene. And I am going
I know what movie that's from.
I'm glad you do. So, I do too, so
Can I get a small, like, refresh boost from Ian's pep talk?
Sure.
How much?
I will say you're not going to be at full. I'm going to say you're going to have 8 for both your armor and charges.
Health? Maybe?
And your health can be at 70. Alright, so
It's not magic, but it gets you there.
yeah. Like, it definitely boosted your spirit some. So let me just add some turn order for story purpose. There we go. Alright, and so Ian then he notices Warren's like ready to lunge, and he like kind of holds him back, and he's like, "Are you sure you're good?"
He gives him a side look. He smirks, and he holds out his ring, and he says, "It's morphin' time!"
And with a torrent of water jetting out from the ground around Warren, he soon morphs into the blue Cosmic Ranger. And Ian just kind of looks in approval, and he's like, "Nice! Want me to show you what I can do?"
And he just kind of like motions as if like, "Go on, sir."
And so he poses, showing off he's got like this brace on his arm. And he goes, "Alright, kick on the turbo!" And so with like anime speed line transition, he as well morphs, and he becomes the blue Nitro Ranger.
I guess he was right. We do need to come up with our own saying.
And Ian just kind of looks at him like, who? Whatever, not important. And so Parasite's not just waiting around. It roars like a big roar that seems to rip throughout the entire town, and even like has like a bit of air, so like your hair would be blowing back if your helmet wasn't on. And it lunges forward, ready to strike the two with its ginormous hand. So beat a 10.
Nope.
Okay, so let me roll for Ian. 9. Okay, so it like Ian is like, "Look out, bud," and he like jumps, but like, and while the claw itself misses, there's still that like shockwave of an impact that like hits you both, and it blows you back a little bit. So now I'm gonna roll damage. 5. Okay, so take 5 from your armor. Alright, so Warren, how do you counterattack?
So did he hit with a limb? Like a hand?
Yeah, he slapped down on, and ended up hitting the ground with his ginormous claw.
Break his fingers.
He's gonna break some fingers.
Oh. So you lunge forward to just punch the fingers?
No, smash the finger with hammer.
With the hammer. Gotcha. Okay. So it's
It's
gotta
hammer time.
it's gotta beat a 7? 4. Okay. Roll damage. Ooh, nice. So immediately, like rebounding, Warren kind of feels his spirit returning, like almost like he's kind of having fun doing this, and just brings down the hammer on the thing's hand, and it actually does kind of roar in pain upon getting hit, and it has the nicest HP value now. So
Nice.
so at this point, let's have all of our other rangers roll for initiative right now. Boom. And where did Rye go? Oh, he's right here. Okay. Boom. Alright. So I'm gonna say that now Morgana arrives on the scene. And she sees these 2 blue rangers squaring off against this this giganto parasite who's like almost as big as a building. Like a small building, obviously, but like, yeah. So how you gonna handle this, Morgana? Like, you can't like attack it or anything, but what's your reaction currently?
How am I supposed to hit this? How am I supposed to hurt this?
How do I slap this effectively?
Exactly.
You make a really big hand.
I was
out
going
of-
to say, morph the earth around your hand and smack.
So you just arrive and you observe and you think about it. You don't morph, you don't prep, you don't do nothing else. You're just like,
More.
Okay, so you arrive, and a big dust cloud appears, and when it settles, the yellow Cosmic Ranger is there, and I'm just gonna go ahead and say that Warren and Ian both notice. And Ian's like, friend of yours?
Yes. Sorry. What? I apologize.
The
It's
thing
been
is,
2
I
weeks.
completely forgot what our team name was, so when I heard Yellow Cosmic Ranger, I was just like, another cameo? You're so nice.
No. Yeah, Morgana's a cameo. Plot twist. Joe's been playing a canon character the whole time.
That would be hilarious. That really would.
Yeah, Yellow Ranger. Cosmic War Yellow Ranger.
Awesome. Alright. So Ian is like, hey, that's a pretty cool hammer you got. Let me show you what I can do. And he summons a freaking pump action shotgun. Basically.
Bruh.
And it shoots lasers, obviously, but yeah, he cocks it and he's like, let's do it, and he fires a volley at the parasite.
I can't write cool stuff like that.
Alright, this thing has to beat a 12. So 4. Yeah, okay. So 4. And he really only does like a scattering fire to like keep it at bay. So like it hurts, but it's not like it's deadly by any means. So yeah. Yeah, like, and he like blows off the barrel of the gun. He's like, man, I love this thing. Parasite's about to attack, but I'm gonna say that now Tom arrives on the scene, and if
Question. I'm gonna guess that I don't get to, like, have my attack action this round. I just arrive, right?
I was actually gonna let you do an intervening action if you wanted to.
Oh, thank you, because I wanted to do something specific, and I was willing to hold my turn if I didn't get to attack.
Oh, well, go ahead and do your specific.
Alright, so I'm gonna say the Guardian just kind of, like, pinged in my head, and he's just like, hey, there's this thing going down, and she's just like, right out of bed, like, still in her PJs, bedhead, everything. She's just like, got it. She morphs, has him open up a gate, and she's just dropping from the air. She's gonna immediately spend 5 of her charges to, like, rain down a volley of javelins made of air onto this creature.
Dang. Okay, so gonna move her over here and spend your 5 charges.
Can she land on top of this building, actually?
Go ahead and move her.
Alright. And then I'll spend my 5 charges. How many dice do I get to roll?
Let's see. I'm gonna say 66 plus 1, because it's also a surprise attack. So,
Alright.
yep. 24. He can't beat a 24, so roll the same amount for
I would
damage.
be upset if he could.
Right?
Rolled a 95.
On 1 die. Dang. Okay,
Damn!
so it goes to lunge forward at the 2 Blue Rangers when suddenly just death from above comes down and shreds it up a bit. And it shrieks and howls as it does. And it turns its attention, like, ferociously trying to find the source. And there's Tom standing on the nearby building. And Ian just gives a thumbs
Tom
up.
just kind of shouts down, "I got your back, Blue Rangers. I'll provide cover fire."
And Ian just gives her a thumbs up and is like, "Hey, good job." Last but not least, Rye appears on the scene, and I'm gonna actually have him roll for something real quick. Rye cannot perceive
with the
anything. It's canon. Like he's just never gonna see
His brain
anything.
is off. His eyes are off.
Like, just nope, not allowed.
Pieces of hair.
Nope. So he just arrives and he's like, "Oh man, you guys started the fun without me. All right." And then I'm gonna have him roll something else, but I'm gonna give him a +1 for this.
2.
Of course.
I was going to...
Of course.
Bruh.
At this point, like, I'm tempted to just be like, Rye's not allowed to roll Persephone. He just auto fails because screw it. Like, just.
It is auto fail.
When it comes to Power Ranger stuff, Morgana auto fails. When it comes to Perception, Rye auto fails.
Alright. But he notices there's 2 Blue Rangers, and so he just kind of he doesn't know who the other Blue Ranger is, but he figures it's gotta be an old school one. So he's like, "Oh man, gotta impress." And he he does like another like weird pose, and he's like, "It's time to morph and become cool." And he and then in a jet stream of fire, he becomes red, and he's like, "Yeah, nailed it." And Ian's just like, okay, whatever. like,
Just ignore him.
Yeah.
That's what we all do.
so,
He's
alright.
trying to find his thing.
Alright, so Warren, what are you gonna do?
Ward is going to summon up just a chunk of ice just like floating in front of him. He's gonna shuffle off to the side and ready his hammer, and he's gonna swing it like a bat and smash it against the ball of ice and just launch it at this.
Alright, expend a charge and do your rolls, man. I'll give you 3d6.
Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Nah, well, let's see if he can beat a 9. He cannot. So,
Hey, that's a crit fail.
yeah. So, I'm gonna say you get +1 to your damage for that. On top of your, 96 roll. Ooh, 7. And your aim's a little off, but it still visibly, hurts the thing. Like, you guys are doing a good job at keeping it at bay, so... Now, Morgana, what are you up to?
Going to spend 2 charges and do an Earth Lance right underneath the thing.
Oof. Okay. Go for it. He can't beat a 15, so go ahead and roll damage.
Sure.
17, dang. So, yeah. You impale the thing, and it, slowly oozes down off the spire. Still visibly in pain, though. And, I'm gonna say that, alright, since Tom took her intervening action, we will go to Rye. So, Rye is like, "Oh man, this is so cool. Okay, let's do this." And him wanting to be a show-off, I'm gonna have him ignite one of his charges. And he uses this to rocket himself forward. Like, he ignites his feet like rocket boosters, and he shoots forward. And he's like, "Yeah, let's go." And he goes basically just to flying punch the thing, like square in the face. So 12. So this thing has to get a perfect 12 in order to not even get hurt. So
Let's see.
9.
Oh,
Nope.
oh,
Okay, so 11. Nice. So yeah, he lands a punch square at it. And it's down to 4. So now it is Ian's turn. And he's like, you know, I think it's about that time. How about I let you do the honors? And he like puts his hand on Warren's shoulder. He's like, "Yep, for it, man." Warren suddenly feels like a wave of inspiration just roaring over him. And so, with feeling enlightened, how are you going to finish this monster?
Relax. Don't be so rigid. Ice, rigid, water flowing. Just gotta relax. And the frost that seems to cling to him washes away, and instead of having a block of ice, he has a ball of water that expands and starts swirling around him into like a tornado of water. And it like leaps, and the tornado comes down onto the elite parasite.
Yeah, this thing is visibly disturbed. Like, it's like, what? Like, just
I didn't sign up for this.
just staring at the swirling water around him. And so now this is the time where Warren shows off his finishing attack. How about you describe it for us, Warren?
So the water like starts moving faster and faster, and the water inside the typhoon lashes out and slashes of water, just like starts cutting into it. So like big, like taking chunks out of the creature, and they can see sort of see into it, and they can see just like pieces of this thing like being hacked apart by just seemingly nothing. And finally, Warren holds his hand in the air and he just shouts out, "Rushing Typhoon!"
And like that, in classic Ranger fashion, the water and also the creature inside it then proceed to explode. So,
Sparks come out of the water.
yeah.
It's a blue explosion.
Yes, an explosion of water energy. And so then Ian and Warren both turn their back and do a cool pose. And Ian just kind of nudges them like, "Alright, now say a cool one-liner."
Cosmic roar!
Looks like you're all washed up.
Tamaki's just like, "I got this."
She's working that +1 charisma.
And Ian's just like, we'll work on it."
I'm still new at this, okay?
Alright, and so now, again in classic Power Ranger fashion, here's a scene for you guys. This is... None of the characters see this. This is purely for audience. So, you guys don't know this is happening, okay? In character. We pan over to a dark room. And we see... It's like a really dark, dimly lit hallway. Alright? And we see a familiar face walking down this hallway. It is Morgana's friend Quinn. now in a new evil getup. I'll let you imagine it how you want to.
He
And
looks literally the same, but it's like a black curtain that he just fashioned into a cape.
if that's how you want to imagine him, by all means. Like,
That's exactly how I want to imagine him.
so, and he walks down, Chronos crystal in hand, and he opens a door, and
He gets on the floor, and then he does the dinosaur.
totally, and there's a light coming out of this door, and he kneels down. No one sees what is beyond this door. There's just light pouring through. And he kneels down and he goes, "Sire, we've lost another one." And a voice replies, "It matters not. The important thing is that we know what we're dealing with now. Continue to create more parasites. We know what we must do." And Quinn just says, "Yes, my lord." And he, gets back up and he walks off. So, and then we transition here back to the team, and Warren, I'm gonna have you roll perception, but a +2, because this is something your character should really freaking notice. 8, okay. So, Warren then notices a light glimmering behind him, from where the elite parasite once stood. And as he gets closer, he sees that it is a Chronos crystal lying there.
Hey!
And
he picks it up and he holds it over, he turns to the others and holds it over his head. Hey, look what I got!
And
Hey,
Rai,
good job, you earned it.
yeah, and Rai rushes forward and he's like, "Oh yeah, our first one. Good job, man. I knew you could do it. See, told you you'd get better."
If looks could kill.
If he could death gaze through his helmet.
But after a moment, he, obviously he can't see his expression, but after a moment, he just, he relaxes, and he smiles, and he nods.
And so now, let's see. Eeny, meeny, miny. Tom, roll knowledge or perception. Or a knowledge check, I guess, would be the proper thing. I don't know.
Alright. Can it still be 2d6 since I'm still morphed?
Sure.
Alright.
6. Okay, good enough. So, now, she's not entirely sure, but she remembers the parasite that escaped the other day. And so she's kind of thinking, well, wait. Maybe that was the thing that had the crystal. And then thus became this giganto, demon goo monster.
Hey, I think I know what's up with that parasite we just dealt with.
And Rai's like, yeah, that one was way different from what we normally fight. I was kind of surprised, actually.
If I had to guess, it was maybe the one that got away the other day. You saw what happens with the Cronus crystals. Remember when we had to fight Psycho Green?
You think that they're
No.
making these creatures out of Chronos crystal?
Well, the big one, I imagine, is the byproduct of the small one combining with a Chronos crystal. So, if one crystal can do that, we definitely can't let the bad guys get more.
No, definitely not.
And Ian's like, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, if these guys are hunting for these crystals, then probably safe to assume that these goo things are after them too, right?
That's probably the safest bet. So, from here on out, let's try our best to get as many crystals as we can.
Ian, can you spread the word to the other teams?
I can certainly try. I know I can get to my team pretty easy, but everyone else has got their hands full. I'm sure you've heard about it. Heck, I only came because the Guardian personally teleported me here. I was actually helping my team with some other matters before this.
Well,
Uh,
since you mentioned the Guardian, why don't we just tell the Guardian to mention it to teams as he, you know, he has easier access to the Power Rangers than we do, right?
Alright, so I'm gonna roll something real quick. Wow. Okay. So, the Guardian, like, he has a translucent presence in the middle of all of you. Like, so, like, he's projecting himself. He's not, like, actually physically there, right? And he's like,
Right.
normally, yes, that would be a great move, but my powers are still too weak. I'm sorry, but this is something you'll have to do manually.
Well, you were able to contact Blue down there, right? If you happen to call upon any other Rangers to help us, like, maybe mention that in passing, please.
And the Guardian just nods and goes, of course. And he, like, waves his hand, and the Chronos Crystal floats out of Warren's hand and towards him. And then it teleports along with the Guardian back to the hall. So, and,
That's sort of taken care of.
and then Ian just kind of leans towards Warren and goes, is he always like that?
You're gonna need to be more specific.
Like all mysterious and just kind of vanishes?
I thought that was kind of a given, considering he's the guardian, quote, and he uses air quotes. He kind of takes the whole mysterious mentor thing to the next level. Trust me, I've asked him to stop, and he just
He's almost
can't
like a
say no,
parody,
so-
isn't it?
And Ian just kind of shrugs and goes, well, I mean, good luck with that. And he's like, oh, right, yeah, my team. It was nice meeting you guys, but I actually should be going. Whew. Warren, great meeting you, man. Let's catch up again sometime.
Warren holds out his hand for like a handshake.
And the Nitro Blue Ranger accepts, and it's a firm handshake. And as he goes to run off, he like stops as he's down the road, and he's like, "Oh right, my car!" And he like unmorphs and then like runs back to the auto shop. He's like, so,
Nice.
I should go make sure that it's in working order. And he also unmorphs.
so then I'm not gonna have you guys roll for this because this is like a super obvious thing. You guys hear movement nearby, and Foxboy comes around the corner and he's like, "So I saw all of that.
Did you now?
Yeah, you guys are from the carnival." And he like walks forward a lot more comfortable now, and Rye's like, "Oh god, no, he knows my secret identity. I don't want to be kicked off the team for this." And he's like kind of freaking out a little bit. And so Keith just is kind of admiring. He's like, "Wow, nice to meet you. I'm Keith."
I mean, he probably knows, like, Morgana and Rai because they morphed on scene. Tamaki was already morphed when she came out the gate, but he could probably assume, so...
I'll just say he was specifically speaking of Morgana and Rai.
Alright.
So...
Tamaki is technically safe.
Yes. And he's like, "Oh man, I'm jealous. You guys are cool. Like, what happened at that carnival? You gotta let me know. Like, how'd you guys become rangers? Like," and Rye's like, look at the time. I got more people to save later." And he like runs off. Morgana's like, and Keith just kind of is staring like kind of wide-eyed at her. Like,
Tamaki's gonna call down from the building. Hey, civilian, you're safe now, right?
yeah?
Then you should probably run along.
Fine, but if you guys ever need anything, my name's Keith. Just look for orange pants.
Alright. Orange pants, who wears those? It's ridiculous. That's so unrealistic.
And so he runs off, tail kind of flowing in the wind. He's very happy, and despite his bad luck with monsters, hey, he discovered who the new Rangers are, like, or at least 2 of them, or 3 of them. So, there's that. So, how are you guys? What are you all? What is Morgana and Tom going to do now? Coast is clear.
Tom is going to like gently float down from the building using the wind powers to like get her down safely, and she's gonna talk to Morgana and be like, "Hey, maybe we should have a little powwow with the team later on and discuss that dude. He knows at least like half the team right now, so."
Yeah.
Morgana's just like, I'm gonna punch it out of him. Like, but no.
Information out of him.
So, meanwhile, Rai is gone and nowhere to be seen. And now, I will say we are coming towards the end, so if there is anything specific you guys want to have happen or to be acknowledged in universe,
me, pick me.
Go for it.
Okay, so I'm gonna say it's around afternoon now. Like, let's say it's around time when the auto shop probably closes. How Tamaki knows this, who knows, man. But like, she shoots Warren a text because like I imagine she at least has the team's contact info from like when they were talking the other day.
How'd you get this number?
Oh my god! But nah, if you guys are all cool with it, I'll say yeah, you all exchanged cell phone numbers while you were eating.
So like, if that was a thing that happened, then she's gonna shoot Warren a text and be like, "Hey, when you're not busy, come drop by my grandma's shop. I got something for you."
You mean the restaurant?
Yeah.
And And I'll say that by this time, Ian has, left. He's back at his own team doing things.
After he and Warren were arguing actually about the cost of repairs, because it turns out that Ian was not taking very good care of his car.
Yes. And it was also a Ranger car on top of it, so, extra fee because more effort.
No, you don't understand. I actually had to make some of these parts.
Yeah, but, you're a fellow Blue Ranger. Cut me a deal here.
I had to use my boss's materials.
I helped you learn the importance of life. I'd say that's better than any car.
I've already given you the discount.
But can you give me another discount?
Discount.
And Sam's right. Sam is only half listening to the conversation, but he's shuts down no more, no discounts. You already gave me blah 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 blah.
And Ian's like, all right, jeez. He's like,
get out of here, you hooligan.
Your boss is scary, man.
I know.
But all right, so then we transition, and it's gonna be at the restaurant.
Yes.
Yep.
So let's move him over here.
Tamaki's just kind of sitting over at one of the dining tables, waiting until someone comes in, just expecting the company.
And Morn does enter.
Ding 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 ding.
Hey, you're looking much better today.
Well, I guess I had an actual chance to get some sleep.
I'm glad to hear that. I don't
What's
want
up?
you to beat yourself up too much. Anyways, I'm sorry it took so long, but I was in the hospital and I just here, and she just kind of slides from underneath the table, and it's this rather large, around the same size as Warren's old toolbox, Bright's blue new toolbox. I'm sorry if you don't like the color. I feel like blue suits you better anyways. And you can go ahead and check if everything's there. I was able to get most of the things that were in there.
Hold
During
on.
the time that
Go ahead. I'm just gonna roll for something.
as Tamaki's kind of rambling, Warren picks up the toolbox, sets it down on like whatever nearby surface.
No, this is a huge toolbox, so I imagine she just slides it from under the table and like in front of Warren.
And Warren picks it up and puts it on
Yeah.
a table. I picked up the brawny perk for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah, so no problem. He's used to this thing. I'm not even going to have him roll for it.
Meanwhile,
Because
Tamaki
logically he'd be
still
able
has
to.
one functional arm, so not much of a contest there.
And Warren starts like flipping latches and opening drawers and just seeing what's inside.
And at one point, you come across something that is kind of out of place when it came to your old toolbox. Around the point where she estimates you stored that bottle of whiskey is a small wicker basket with a green cloth covering the insides.
He takes out the wicker basket and he removes the cloth.
And underneath the cloth is about a dozen chocolate chip cookies. Sorry if they're basic. I don't know if you have any allergies. I hope that's fine. I can't exactly replace the whiskey. I'm still... I can't buy alcohol. I'm only 20.
Warren takes a cookie, snaps it in half, and he offers half of it to her. It's Tamaki.
Oh, those are all for you. Like, I can make cookies anytime. Take them.
He chomps it and he says, "I'm sharing with you. Just take it."
Well,
I'm sharing with my teammate.
There's no change in his mind, clearly, so I'm gonna take the other half the cookie.
And I assume they just like enjoy cookies together.
Yeah, probably just small talk and cookies.
Alright, so I rolled for 3 different people there. Ironically, the only one that won was actually Rye. So, I'm gonna...
He's just, like, against the glass, against one of the windows, like, peeking in. Hey, guys, can I come in, too? Face
No.
just mush.
Like, he is definitely, like, looking in on them. But, let's just say because he can't hear what they're saying, he's kind of getting the wrong idea. Like...
Oh no.
He's like, ooh. So yeah. Alright, so we transition from that scene. Is there anything else anyone wants to happen before I narrate the ending scene here?
Not that I can think of.
Okay, so we transition to a little bit later in the night. Warren has returned to his home at this point.
And is dead asleep.
Not quite yet. And he walks in, and for the first time in a while, he looks like a huge weight has just been lifted off his shoulders. And he just kind of gets in, gets comfy, flops down on his bed. And for the first time in a long time, he's got a great sleep going on. He's looking at peace, and then there's a little chime, and then fade to black, and that's the end of the episode.